Good evening, everybody. All of our wonderful IntelliTravel advisors. This is Brian Holmberg from the Industry Relations team, and I'm so excited that you joined us this evening for our Europe Express webinar. I was just spending some really nice time talking with Carmen. I don't know if many of you know, but I come from the cruise side of the business, so I actually enjoy hosting these sessions way more because I love learning more about our land partners and being able to immerse ourselves in their products. Sandra and Dave Spinelli have always told me what an amazing partner Europe Express is. So I know you are all in for a real treat this evening. Our normal kind of housekeeping things, please type any of your questions into the question box and we'll get to those towards the end of the presentation. GoToWebinar from time to time can be a little bit finicky, as we all know. And so if you're having trouble with either hearing or seeing the slides or transitions, if I could just please ask you to log out and log back in. I wish I were an IT expert and could provide all the answers, but rebooting is about the only answer I have when those things occur. And so type those questions into the question box. This presentation is being recorded and will be put in the back office tomorrow. So you can either go back and check out any portions that you may have missed, or you can send it on to any other folks that you're working with. But without further ado, I would love to introduce our presenter for the evening. And I should, Carmen, I apologize, I should have learned how to pronounce your last name. If you don't mind, I'm not going to butcher it. I'm just going to say our wonderful partner from Europe Express, Carmen, is going to give you a wonderful presentation. Thank you for joining us, Carmen.
Thank you, Brian, and no worries at all. It also took me quite a hot minute to learn how to say my last name. So hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. Before I start, Brian, do you mind confirming that you can still see my screen? I'm getting a little notification saying that my sharing is now paused.
Nope, I can see the Europe Express. It says helping you impress, and it's a beautiful picture, and you have our IntelliTravel logo in the lower right column is the slide that we're seeing right now.
Perfect. How about when I go to my next slide?
I am not seeing that.
Let's see. Yeah, I apologize, guys. As Brian was just saying about the whole IT situation, this is the surprise that we're getting. So bear with me for just a quick moment.
Yep, and we have very patient. It's what I love about our network. Our advisors they've all experienced these issues and these GoToWebinars. I just celebrated my 2-year anniversary here, and it never fails. Oh, GoToWebinar can be a bugaboo sometimes.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
That is such an accomplishment. I'm going to try sharing again.
Okay. Yep. So I see yep. So now the slide. Oh, there we go. So now we're to the slide with perfect. your picture. Awesome. There we go.
Yay. Thank you so much, Brian. Appreciate you working with me through this. And thank you, everyone, for your patience. I know it's the end of the day for everyone, and I so appreciate you taking the time to learn a little bit about Europe Express if we're a new partner for you, or if you've been working with us and partnering with growing your business to Europe and coming and learning a little bit about some of the updates that we've been sharing for the past few months. And there's a ton that's been happening. So brace yourself for the next 30-40 minutes where I will be sharing a ton of information, and I know it can be a little overwhelming, so don't worry, we'll have some time at the end for some questions and answers. And of course, you have access to myself and your local BDMs, whether it's during these presentations or later on. So feel free to save my contact information. And if you haven't met your BDM yet, I will provide that information towards the end of this presentation, but I am also happy to do a personal introduction to whoever your BDM is. So again, my name is Carmen Gashnikov. I am the host partnership director here at Europe Express, and I do work very closely with the team at HQ as well as our local BDMs to make sure that we're providing you guys with the best level of service, the product, and the really meeting the expectations that your clients come requesting those amazing experiences all throughout Europe. So let us know how we can help you. Your feedback is super appreciated just to make sure that we're helping you meet those expectations. So with that being said, I'll introduce you a little bit to also who Europe Express is for those of you that are a little bit newer with us. And it's honestly in the name, guys. Europe Express, we are the experts in all of Europe to help you in building and customizing those FIT and private group itineraries, whether it is multi-city, multi-country itineraries, that one-stop shop in crafting those custom itineraries exclusively to travel professionals like yourself. We don't sell to the end consumer, so your success is our priority. We're only successful if you are, and the only way to do that is to make sure to provide you with the support that you need and the really level of experience that your clients are looking for. So I said that we're that one-stop shop. And what does that look like? We can build and customize a seamless itinerary as little or as much as your clients may need. So this is anything from air, hotels, sightseeing, tours, transfers, car rentals, rail, and even travel insurance. As we know, travel insurance is no longer a luxury, is a necessity. And I know that you guys are educating your clients on this every single day, but I can't stress it enough. So going back a little bit over these services, with air, we actually do contract all the major carriers in and out of Europe, as well as those smaller European airlines for those multi-city, multi-country itineraries. And we do provide you with a 5% commission on the air, no matter the class. And we do help you with business class and first class, so all those different options for your clients. Then we have the hotels, and it's not just your typical hotels that we contract. We also provide bed and breakfast, boutique style castles, those more unique properties. We contract for every style of traveler, and we do provide you with 14% commission on all accommodations. Now, also at 14% commission is our sightseeing and tour options. And this is also very much around what your client's needs and vision of that experience is. So this could be a private cooking class, or maybe a group walking tour throughout Paris, going to the Eiffel Tower for those private groups, or shared private, depending again on what your client's style of travel is. Also at 14% commission is our transfers, again, whether it's private, shared, executive, one way, or round trip, anywhere from the airport to the hotel, the cruise port, train station, bus station, you name it. We can provide those services. Then we have those that are a bit more on the adventure side. They're a bit more independent in their travels. So they might want a car rental option. That's something we can also help with. And we do provide you a 12% commission. Also at 12% commission is our travel protection. The only service that we do not provide commission on, and this is pretty standard across the industry, is rail. Now, we do have rail in our inventory for multiple reasons. One, of course, we want to provide you with that seamless one-stop shop itinerary for your clients and for yourself. As we know, piecing services separately using multiple suppliers is time consuming, it's a lot more work for you. So that's one of the main reasons we have it in our inventory. We also have a great partnership with Rail Europe. We're actually one of their top partners. And they provide us with the inventory that you guys are looking for. It can also be a little intimidating in figuring out what rail your clients are looking for, and there's so many different options. So this is where our specialists come into play, because they help you identify all of those details and logistics to make sure that what your clients are looking for is what we can add to those itineraries. So speaking a little bit about our specialists, we know that Europe in general is overwhelming. It can be a little intimidating to have those conversations with your clients, especially if you haven't traveled to all of these destinations. And mind you, Europe is a massive continent. So even if you're a big traveler, which I know that most of you are, there's so many places in Europe. There's only so much that you can do with all the time that we have available to do these trips, right? So even if you're a big traveler, there's going to be still that destination that you're not familiar with, but your clients do expect you to know these destinations. So this is where our specialists come into play, where they're helping you in having these conversations. They know the destinations, they know the product, and they will make you look like you've been selling these destinations forever. And that is exactly the point of our service, is to provide you with that support and those areas that you might not be so familiar, or even if you're familiar, like I mentioned before, building these itineraries and piecing these services together into one itinerary is time consuming. So this is something that our team will help you do. Now, we also have our team of contracting managers. Now, this is a very important team because they're the ones that are identifying the destinations and the product that your clients are looking for. So they are there hand selecting the product, making sure that it's up to standards, and that we're providing you with quality options for your clients. These product managers are reviewing these relationships multiple times throughout the year. So just like IntelliTravel reviews the relationship with suppliers like Europe Express throughout the year, we do the exact same with our local partners in these destinations, not only to make sure that it's still up to standard or minimum in the standards, is to also make sure that the pricing is competitive. And this is really important, right? We know that your clients are out there price matching or reviewing. So we want to make sure that we're staying competitive. Now, just like this team is based in Europe, we also have our in-destination support team that is available to you and your clients 24/7. This team is based in our Barcelona office, which is at the same time zone as your clients when they're traveling to Europe. Let's face it, when there's something that goes wrong and your clients need that support, it's most likely 3 a.m. your time. And you might miss that phone call, or even if you do pick up that call, you probably half asleep. So you really want to depend on this support team to provide you with that level of service that you and your clients need during their travels. Travel is unpredictable, guys. It truly is. And nowadays, it's not just if something's going to go wrong, but when, right? Especially with air, there's so many delays, there's cancellations. And unfortunately, when one service is affected, the rest of the services moving forward can be also interrupted. So this is where this team come into play. And I mentioned before, we're exclusive to travel advisors, but this is the one time that our team will speak to your clients and provide them with that direct service. So this is where I always suggest on the travel documents that you provide to your clients, making sure that you're reviewing it with them, highlight or circle, just point out to them this team, the phone number that they'll have available for them to reach out to if they have any emergencies, concerns. And this could be from their flights, a tour, maybe some challenges with transportation, with the hotel. So this team is there to support and provide, making sure that they get back to enjoying their trip. Now, I've mentioned a few times, and you'll hear me say this a few more times, is that we are that one-stop shop for you. We want to make sure that we're providing you with the expertise to build these customized itineraries, be that one-stop shop with all the components, one seamless commission payment rather than tracking down multiple suppliers. And again, that all of the products and services are being vetted for you and your clients. Now, these itineraries can really seem difficult, or having these conversations with your clients can be a little bit challenging when you're not sure if your client is the European traveler. But this is what I always say: when you're working with Europe Express, everyone is a European traveler because we will customize around their needs and wants. So whether they love culinary experiences, maybe they're into art, culture, history, maybe it's a multi-generational family that are looking to spend more time together, experience with the grandparents, with the kids, romance and honeymoon. Let's face it, that will never go out of style. We will continue to see those honeymooners and those big milestones for big anniversaries. Brian and I were just discussing him and his wife celebrating their 25-year anniversary coming soon. So those are never going to go out of style. Europe is definitely the place to share those experiences. But then there's other style of traveling. Maybe a film location, right? Last year, it was a big year for the Bridgerton lovers. I'm kind of giving myself away here, guys, because I am that Bridgerton lover, and I'm planning my own Bridgerton experience to London this summer. But maybe there's the Disney lovers that didn't realize that this could be an experience, but in Europe, right? At Europe Express, we can help you build those customized Disneyland Paris experiences. Then we also have those beach lovers, right? Spa getaway lovers. A lot of these travelers think that an all-inclusive or the Caribbean are the only options for beach, but that's not the case. There's so many amazing, beautiful locations in Europe, like Greece, Spain, Italy. I mean, there's so many places, guys. Absolutely, this is something that we can help with those style of travelers. And we cannot forget the pre and post cruise itineraries. I'm sure a lot of you have those cruise lovers that are maybe looking to expand to the Mediterranean or maybe river cruising. Well, guess what? They're already spending a big chunk of that budget for the flights. So if they're going all the way to Europe, why not add to their experience and add more value to their spending? So this could be by adding maybe a pre and post itinerary where they can immerse a little bit more into the experience. Many don't realize that when you're flying into these destinations where you're boarding a cruise, you really will not have a whole lot of time to experience that destination. A great example is Rome. Many travelers don't realize that city center for Rome is actually about an hour and a half to 2 hours away from the port. So not only will they not experience the true Rome experience if they arrive on the day of, but also they'll have that extra stress of maybe there's some delays or cancellations, and they could miss even getting on that on their ship. So arriving a day or two before will give them peace of mind, and you, because let's face it, you're the one that's going to be stressing trying to figure it out, but also add more to their experience and really be able to immerse into that pre-cruise destination. Now, we want to help you in building your business. So we want to enhance and elevate how you do that. So we have a couple of different ways that we are working to do that. And this is through our resources and tools, as well as some recent news and improvements that we've been working on for the past few months. So a few of those, I will start with our 5-star preferred hotels. Now, typically we do specialize between 3 to 5-star experiences, and this is for all of our services. But we recognize that there is a big interest and a big demand for more of that luxury experience. So this is something that our contracting managers have been working in the past year to add more of those options for you and your clients. Now, we've also made some changes on the way that we contract. We invested into our technology and phone system to making sure that we could provide you all with more or easier turnaround times, more competitive pricing. So with some of the improvements on the technology, we were able to shift our format of contracting to dynamic pricing. And what this means is that this is live pricing and is more competitive all throughout the year rather than just focusing on renewing these contracts once or twice a year, which could put us in a disadvantage. So this was a big shift in investment that has now been completed. We've also done a lot of rebranding and updates to our website, improving our tools and resources, which I would go into in just a moment. We also updated and reformatted all of our quote documents. We acknowledge that this is the first time that you're presenting something to your clients. So it needed to have more information, visually appealing, better images. So this is something that we also finalized at the end of 2024, early 2025. We also announced our advisor appreciation trip, as well as our new rewards program, which I will mention in just a couple of minutes. Now, some of those updates that I mentioned was into our tools and resources. One of my favorites here is the sample itineraries. I also like to refer to them as suggested itineraries. Although you can build and customize a tailored itinerary for your clients, we understand that having those conversations cannot be, are not always that easy, right? Your clients are coming to you, they don't know what they want to do just yet, but they expect you to figure it out for them, and that's time consuming. So these suggested itineraries helps them visualize what this itinerary could look like. It's able to provide you with some feedback on what possibly they like about this itinerary, or maybe what don't they like, what would they like to see. And that's a starting point that makes it a little bit easier when you're having those conversations with your clients. Then we also have our city guides. This is probably also one of my top favorite tools that we provide, because this is going that extra step. Once you have already confirmed that itinerary for your clients, you've taken that deposit, they've already finalized where they want to go. This is taking it the extra mile and really wowing them with more information about the destination. So these city guides are gold. They provide you with so much information about the destination, what to do, what to see, shopping areas, maybe even some events that are potentially happening in the area, cafes, restaurant recommendations. It honestly has so much information, and this is why I always say, wait until your client has committed, they've finalized that itinerary, because this will be gold information. And again, it's giving them that wow feature, that you've gone that extra mile. They'll probably think that you've spent hours researching this for them when you simply just downloaded it. And mind you, they don't have access to stuff like this, so you will definitely wow them. Now, we want to continue to develop your expertise. Again, we want you to feel confident when you're having those conversations with your clients. So we have continued to evolve our webinar library similar to these, like today, but also about the destination itself. We'll have guests that join and talk about the destination and the product. And this is available in our website, europeexpress.com. Under tools and resources, you'll see an option there for our webinar library. Like I mentioned, we've evolved and announced our advisor reward program, which I'll share a little bit more information about, our appreciation trip. That's also going to be announced in just another few weeks. And then our FAM program. We want you guys to invest in yourself and learn about these destinations. So we actually just announced our fall FAM opportunities. You can actually find those dates and itineraries in our website. You'll see a tab for our blog, and this will take you to all the different topics there. One of the last ones, I believe that went out last week, is talking about all the different FAM dates and destinations that we will have available this fall. And now that was just announcing the dates. The registration will be opening in I would say about 3 to 4 weeks. Now, another of the investments that we've done in the past few months is in providing additional support to both you and your specialist with Europe Express. Again, this was something that was done to improve the level of service, the turnaround times. We know that your clients are looking to get those quotes as quickly as possible. So this new process, and it is fairly new, is only a couple of months old. It's still trial and error. We appreciate all the feedback that you provide to us to make sure that we continue to improve. But at the moment, the way that this is being introduced is that you work with your specialist that helps you build and finalize, confirm, and get deposit for that itinerary. And once that's all finalized, you are introduced to a travel advisor support coordinator who will be your additional contact for any additional questions, maybe small modifications that might need to happen, maybe date changes, add or remove a destination, special request, air changes or upgrades. This will be the responsibility of that travel advisor support coordinator. And again, it's just an extra layer of support so that way your specialist can continue to focus in building those quotes that you continue to send over to them. Now, like I said, we just introduced, and when I say just introduced, this was just last month in March that we announced our new rewards program called Passport to Perks. This was long overdue. This was really to say a big thank you to you all for the support and the partnership to continue to say thank you, because let's face it, commission payments are not a thank you, guys. You are working for that commission that is yours. So we wanted to provide you something that truly said thank you. So this program, you are collecting as you book. So everything that you book will qualify for the perks. There's absolutely nothing that you need to do. This was an automatic enrollment, very easy to access. The dashboard is available on your profile. So as soon as you log in, you will be able to see in your profile that dashboard. Now, some of the perks, and this is just the start because we are going to continue to add more and more to this. This will be 4 different status. So ambassador, insider, expert, and elite. Anything that you've already booked to travel in 2025, even though we just announced this last month, anything that you already had booked traveling in 2025 will qualify for these perks. You will be earning either cash back or travel credit. So the option will be yours. Of course, we want to encourage you to select the travel credit, invest in your business and learning and traveling, to really immerse yourself in these destinations that you're selling. But we understand, again, there's not always that time to add an extra travel in there. So you will also have the option to cash out of those earnings so you don't lose it at the end of next year. But these are just a couple of the perks that I wanted to showcase in here. If you have any questions, I can share that or answer that towards the end of this presentation. But again, you have access to your BDM where they can go into more details about all of these perks that you are earning. So you will log into your website. So it's just to give you an example here, logged into this account. Once you log in, you'll see these tabs on the very top. So you'll see a new one named rewards. Once you select that, it will take you to the dashboard where it will say what your status is or how much further for you to reach the next status, as well as how much cashback or travel credit you have accumulated. So just keep that in mind, just to give you a little bit of overview here of what that looks like. Oh, I apologize, guys. I moved a little too quickly. I wanted to show you here. So when you log in, you'll have all of this information. So if I went a little too quickly, you can go ahead and log in on your account and you'll be able to see this as well. Awesome. So if you have not registered yet, this would be your first homework. I hate sending homework, but this is a good one because this is how you'll be able to start partnering with Europe Express. Go to europeexpress.com. You'll select registration tab on the top. You'll complete a couple of questions. It will take you maybe 30 to 60 seconds. Where you'll put your information, IATA, CLIA, or ARC number for your host agency, in this case, IntelliTravel, but you will enter your own home address or home office address, not headquarters address. And the reason why I ask that you do this is to make sure that you're assigned to a local BDM. We want you to have that relationship with your local BDM. We want them to know that you're in the area so they can invite you to lunch and learns or maybe any events that they might be hosting. They can invite you. I promise we will not be coming and knocking on your door unless you invite us. If you invite us, we're coming. But otherwise, I promise you none of us will show up. But if you've already registered and you think you use the HQ address, you can simply log in and you can edit your profile. But if you have some challenges with that, let me know and I'm happy to help you edit that. Once you complete the registration, it will take maybe about 24 hours for that to be completed on our end. And then you'll receive an email from our profiles team with your login information and a link to create your password. But once that is done, you'll be able to work with us whichever way you prefer. We want to adjust to your style of working with us. So maybe that is working with one of our specialists, which I'm going to be honest, that is my favorite way of working with our team. They really know the destination and the product. So you can email them at newquote@europeexpress.com. This will go to our coordinators. They will review that request. And based on that request, they'll assign it to one of the specialists. Now, you might already have a specialist that you like working with. Once you have that specialist, you can continue to work with them directly. You'll have their email address, their extension. So feel free to work with them moving forward. And if you haven't had luck in finding your person, please let us know. we're happy to make an introduction for you. We want you to find your person. But then some of you prefer to work on your own. So if you do, you can use our booking platform where you log in to the booking platform and you can build that itinerary on your own and confirm it right on the website. Or maybe you start with a draft and then you want to finalize it with a specialist just to kind of have an extra set of eyes there. That's just fine, and vice versa. We'll work again, whichever you prefer. And of course, if you just want to call in and ask for a specialist over the phone because it's something that you need done urgently, absolutely, you can also call us in. So with that being said, guys, that is all that I have for today. If you don't know who your BDM is, you can actually go ahead and scan this QR code here. It will take you to our tools and resources, as well as be able to connect with your BDM and find out who your BDM is based on your territory or where you're based. And that's all I have for today, guys. I think we're still good in time where we can answer a couple of questions.
Awesome. Carmen, that was great. And you've given me some awesome ideas for my 25th wedding anniversary. And my wife isn't here to hear that. So we'll definitely be surprising her. So, but thank you so much for this great presentation. As a reminder to everybody, this awesome session has been recorded and will be in our back office tomorrow. So just a few questions here, Carmen, and we'll get everybody off into their evening. Do you have Iceland as part of the product offerings with Europe Express?
Yep, absolutely, guys.
Awesome.
Iceland is a booming destination and we absolutely can help you with it. If you have any doubts on destination, when you go into Europe Express, we do have the map in there. But if I'm going to be honest with you guys, if it's in Europe, we can help you with it.
Awesome. Awesome. This is a good one. Sometimes you want to make sure you're prepared as best possible, but how much information about the trip do you need from your client before they reach out to one of your specialists?
That is a very good question. And honestly, the more information, the better for a true viable quote. We wanna get it as close as possible from that first quote that is sent out. Of course, we understand that there's going to be some modification and back and forth, and that's totally normal. But the more information, the better. So travel dates, number of passengers, destination, an idea of what they're looking for or envisioning, maybe the style of traveler that they are. We do have a great, under our tools and resources, we do have a great questionnaire, qualifying questionnaire that is really great for asking these questions to your clients. And it's exactly the information that we need to provide you that quote. So you can find that form in our tools and resources, or reach out to me and I'm happy to email it to you guys.
Awesome. I got so many really cool comments that I wanted to pass along, as far as our advisors saying working with the team has been great. One here from Lisa was, I just booked a trip to Spain with Europe Express. They were great to work with, so responsive and helpful throughout the entire process. So I just want to reiterate to everybody, Europe Express is an amazing partner, and we want to return their support to us by sending Carmen plenty of business. So
I love that. Thank you so much. And I love hearing
Awesome.
that feedback. Please feel free to email me with that as well. We love hearing it and sharing it with our specialists. They love hearing this from you guys. So don't be afraid to reach out and share that feedback with me. The good and the bad, because the bad is also necessary, guys. How can we improve and make changes if we don't know about it? And I do get this all the time, and they're like, well, Carmen, I don't want to bother you, and it was something so small. And I say, well, but you're actually doing me a disservice. by not giving me all the feedback. The good and the bad is necessary. So please send it all over to us.
Awesome. Awesome. Could you talk a little bit, Carmen, about any marketing materials or content assets that our folks can be shared and posted on social media? I think that's what a lot of our folks
Yeah.
rely on is using social media to tell your story.
Absolutely, and we want to encourage that as well. Under the resources tab, you will also find some really great marketing tools that you can download and use it. Anything that's in our website, you have authorization and permission to use on all of your socials. So feel free to use all of that. And then one big recommendation that I'm going to make is find out who your BDM is and find them on Facebook, because they're constantly posting some copy and paste marketing stuff that you can copy and paste and use on your
Awesome.
own social media. So if you're not
Perfect.
following or are friends with your BDM on Facebook, please do that now, because that's one of the biggest feedback that I get, that they love all the great info that their BDM post on Facebook.
Oh, super, super. And I think you shared this, Carmen. I just want to reiterate it because I think a lot of our folks are always constantly looking for continuing education. Is there a learning program or something on your website as far as becoming like a certified Europe Express seller that they can go through?
So at this very moment, we don't have a
Oh,
certified or a program to get certified. We do have a educational library. We are working towards something that will provide your certification, but not just yet. But in the meantime, there is a ton of educational videos and webinars in there, and even live webinars that you can register for. Even if you can't attend them, still register, because then you'll get the recording at a later time. But yeah, there's a ton of educational videos in our website as well.
and this question comes up quite a bit about international travel, Carmen, and would love your take on it because we just have to understand in North America, kind of some of the ADA rules and regulations don't necessarily cross over internationally. Could you just talk a little bit about accessibility, canes, walkers, wheelchairs? Europe is different than here,
Yeah.
and I think it's important to understand that that just some of the things in Europe it just isn't possible that it is here. Maybe you could talk to that a bit.
That's a good point. Europe is a lot of cobblestones and a lot of stairs, not so easy accessible areas. But this is where qualifying your clients come to, to be the most important part of those conversations that you're going to have with them, because that is the type of information that we will need from you in order to help build an itinerary that will be tailored to your client's needs. And that is part of those needs, right? Maybe your client does travel with a walker, or a wheelchair, or they'll need assistance in certain areas, and that is something that we can assist with. We just need to know about it, so that way that hotel that we're suggesting, we know is accessible, or that transfer that we are suggesting, we know will be able to accommodate those needs. The same with the tours and sightseeings. So the tour operator or the tour guide is aware of these accessible needs. So the more
Awesome.
information you can provide, then we can help adjust and tailor that itinerary around it.
Great, great. Good question here. Once the client places a deposit on the quote, does that lock in the price, even if the trip isn't until a year or so from now? Just want to make sure that once they put money down, that kind of
Yeah.
locks in what they've got.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is exactly it. Once you put that deposit down, it locks the price no matter when they're traveling.
Awesome, awesome. Couple questions on just some clarification on the passport perks points. Um, do those expire? Are they good for just a year and then you restart? How they just want to understand, do they
Yeah, no,
continue to
that's a
carry over?
good point. So they do expire, but you do have a full year. So for example, any cashback or travel credits that you accumulate in 2025, you will have until December of 2026 to use.
Awesome. Great, great. Little bit of clarification on BDM support, which, by the way, I just want to say I commend you for providing local support. We're kind of the 300-pound gorilla in the industry, so you providing that is great. And it says, are the BDMs divided by states? Is the West Coast BDM the same for Hawaii? And I think you gave the QR codes. So in fact, boom, you're already ahead of me. So
I'm
I
on
think
it. I'm on it.
this
So yeah,
everybody, this QR code will take you to who your business development manager is, I believe, Carmen.
yes, that is correct. And it's so every supplier is a little bit different depending on how large the team is. But this QR code will take you to the website where you will actually be able to type in your city or state, and then it will tell you exactly who your local BDM is. But for example, we do have one BDM for the Southeast, and the Southeast is Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas. So there's one BDM for all those states. And then in the Northeast, there's one BDM, Central. There we have two in the West. The West is pretty large, so there are two separated in there. But if you can't figure out, and it can be sometimes a little complicated, I'm not gonna lie. If you can't figure it out, then guys, just reach out to me directly,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I'm happy to introduce.
And for everybody, you can always reach out to the team at IntelliTravel. Myself, Carmen is obviously works her tail off for all of us, but we can help you as well. So if there's any questions about this great partner, we're always here to help you as well. Just wanted to say, Marie wrote, this was a great training, full of information, really exciting. I thought this was a good question. Wondering if you do religious themed tours.
That's a good question. Yeah, we do. You name it, we do it. Your client's vision, we make it true.
Awesome.
But that is
Awesome.
a popular one actually. So
Okay.
yes.
Great, great. This is a good one. Do you know what the approximate turnaround time is on quotes to be generated?
Yes, so the goal is between 24 to 48 hours. At the moment, during peak season, it is averaging about 30 hours turnaround time. But the goal is to try to stay within 24 hours.
Awesome, awesome. Carmen, so many of our folks are, and I think you just said this. You said that the question was, they just wrote, is there a Facebook page? You recommend that they find who their BDM is and then join their Facebook page, or is there a Europe Express kind of
I
travel?
would say both. I would say both. There is a Europe Express Facebook. Follow that one, because we do put a lot of great intel in there that you can copy and paste, or information updated. But obviously that one can be a little bit more public. The one with your BDM, those are truly resources for you as an advisor. So find out who your BDM is and friend them.
Awesome. Awesome. I wanted to, there was a clarification on it being able to get invited to a FAM, Carmen. It says they have to be selling 40,000 or more in Europe Express.
So yes, that is to be eligible, but that doesn't mean that you won't get an invite, right? So this is where reaching out and connecting with your BDM and letting them know your intention on growing your business is so, so important. Because of course, if we see that your intention is to grow your business with Europe Express and you're just not there yet, we will want you to be in that fam. So just connect with myself and your BDM. Let us know your business plan, and we will, do what we can to get you those invites as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Somebody mentioned that the website only allows 5 destinations. If they're booking a trip that has more, does that mean that that's necessary to call one of your travel specialists?
That is exactly it. We
Okay.
purposely limit it to 5 destinations max, to make sure that that you have the support, because it becomes a little bit more with logistics. The more the number of destinations, the more difficult and the more room for error, honestly. So we just want to have an extra set of eyes in there to help you with it. But yeah, we can do as many. I was just working with a travel advisor that she had a client traveling to Europe for about 6 weeks. And they were doing, I think it was about 7 destinations. So yeah, absolutely. We can help with as
Okay.
many as they need.
Awesome. And this one's a bit specific, so it's okay. Patty, we may have to take this one offline. It said, I registered and I have a friend looking for Iceland in 2026, but she won some sort of $500 credit for Icelandic Air. And she's just a bit confused about, okay, what do I do?
Yeah, you can reach out to me, and I'm happy to see what how we can help. But if they won an air credit, then probably the air will need to be booked separately, because it's probably certain
Yeah,
terms and conditions on how they require that air to be booked. And then we can help with the other services. That's the beauty of custom and tailored, that we don't require you to have to package everything with us. So if they're booking the air separately because they're using a credit like this or points and miles, then we're happy to help you with the other components.
awesome. Awesome. Well, Carmen, I learned a ton. I am so excited I'm like, I want to book a Europe Express trip right away. And I'm so many great comments about your presentation. Thank you so much for your
Awesome.
time taking out of your evening to share everything. Like I said, I just want to say a big thank you to you. Um, I don't get to work with you on a day-to-day basis, but Sandra and everybody on the industry relations team has done nothing but rave about Europe Express and their support of our network. So thank you so much for everything you do for us. We very much appreciate your time this evening. And everybody, all 300 plus of you, I need you because Carmen has probably has kids to put through college. We need to make bookings for Europe Express tomorrow and every day after this. So thank you so much, Carmen.
Thank you so much, Brian. And thank you, everyone. I agree with him. Help me pay my bills and I'll help you pay yours.
There, I love it. I love it. Everyone have a wonderful evening. Good night.
Good night, guys.